For people podcasting, not because it's what America needs, but it's damn sure what America wants right now. This is MJ and the boys, you lucky bastards.
Hello! Sean is scaring me. How are you guys doing?
First
What
of all,
was I too close to the camera or what?
No, it was me trying to check my face before we went on. That was Sean just being an asshole to me. Had nothing to do with you. Worry not. Worry not.
your face looks beautiful, MJ.
Yes.
And let me just say, for those of you who are listening on Podbean or Spotify or Apple Podcast or Google Podcast or any of them, we are now available on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com and search MJ and the Boys Podcast, and you will find video of us, the live video of this podcast. And if you subscribe, you'd be doing us a huge favor. So hit the subscribe button on MJ and the Boys Podcast, hit the like button, and find us on YouTube, and you get to see our beautiful faces shrouded in mystery like MJ's every week.
This is my Mr. Robot look.
You get
MJ's got the AC cranking.
You get to meet Sean's dog. You get to see Neil in all his glory. All of us live on YouTube every week. So check us out on YouTube.
Well, how's everybody's week so far?
It's
been a good week.
Yeah.
Good. Had a lovely weekend.
Sticky, we are what, T-minus 2 weeks to the other baby?
No, I think we're exactly at 1 month right now. We're inside of 4 weeks before the baby is born. My baby, who will no doubt be mistaken for my granddaughter, but yeah, we're hanging in there. We're getting used to we're trying to like make room in the house and do all that stuff, but we're ready. We're ready for it.
Well, I'm glad to see that under no circumstances, no matter how many children you should have, is anyone allowed to touch your grown-ass man cave that's set up behind you. Like, I love it.
That's just my shelves, man. That's just my a display shelf. And
it's like your home decor? Like,
yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
I actually I gave up my man cave when my daughter, I had like a little man cave, and then my daughter got too old to, sleep in a crib. And so I gave up my man cave. So all I have left is this tiny little shelf behind me. And that's all. But someday.
I've been sleeping
Sticky
in
and his man shelf.
Huh?
Have you been sleeping in 2-hour increments just to get used to that again?
No. Is that something I have to do?
Well, no, Annalie will do it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna be a modern day husband,
I help out. Let's not talk about me, Sean. I want to talk about you for a minute because you told me you saw a really interesting movie over the weekend.
Yeah, we watched on Saturday night the new Spike Lee joint, The Five Bloods, and it was somewhere buried in its 2.5 hours was a great movie.
Okay.
It fell just short. I think Spike had a lot of stuff he wanted to talk about and get on film, and he got it all on there. And it was just a little bit too much. It could have used about a half-hour edit off of it.
Sean, and, I'm surprised to hear you say that. I was prepared because I also watched it on Saturday night, and the exact thing that I was going to say was it was 2.5 hours. It should have been 2 hours long. That's amazing to me that you said that.
There was some stuff in there that could have been pared down. I don't want to give away any spoilers, obviously, but there's some stuff involving some French people that could have been cut down a lot. But the I don't want to call it the saving grace because I did really like it, and I'm going to give it at least 1.5 smooth opinions. The acting in this movie, specifically from they're not really co-leads, but they're kind of co-leads. Delroy Lindo and Clark Peters was just absolutely phenomenal. Delroy Lindo is as good as I've ever seen him in anything, and as good a performance as I can remember seeing in the last few years, just full of anger and rage, and not in the way you'd expect out of a Spike Lee character. And Clark Peters was just kind of the quiet, calm counterpoint to that. And I loved the performances in it. If one or both of them does not get nominated for all the awards, it's going to be a travesty. And I didn't even mention the kid who plays Delroy Lindo's son, who was very underwritten, kind of a hollow character a little bit, but the actor is also magnificent. And it just, with a little bit of editing, knocking about a half hour off the runtime, it would have been right up there with Spike Lee's Big Four, which are, to me anyway, Do the Right Thing, Malcolm X. He got Game, and Black Klansman.
I thought Inside Man was one of his best.
Inside Man was really good as well.
So Sean, I want to. It's really interesting because I was kind of thought that you were going to come out and just say it was amazing, and I watched it like you. I enjoyed it. I thought it was too long. I thought it felt like a Quentin Tarantino movie, and I don't mean that necessarily as a compliment. It felt like it was just too long. And a little drawn out. But the biggest problem I had with the film was not anything that had to do with Spike Lee. It was actually just all Netflix's fault, which was the movie was marketed as a Chadwick Boseman movie. I thought it starred Chadwick Boseman based on all the advertisements and the trailer that I saw from it. If you watch the trailer, you pretty much see Chadwick Boseman's entire performance. He was in the whole movie for like 8 minutes. And
no, he is the driving force behind it, but he's not in it very much.
Right. No, he's a very important character, but he's almost a MacGuffin. You know what I mean? It's like he was just barely in the movie. And I thought it was going to be a Chadwick Boseman movie. And I also thought it was a weird choice that when they did the flashbacks to 1968 to the Vietnam scenes, that they used the actors and didn't de-age them and didn't use younger actors. They just had the old guys in the flashbacks. And I thought that was interesting. I couldn't decide whether I liked it or not, but that was really, really a unique. I've never seen that before.
That was cool. I thought that was a cool choice because not only did they not de-age the actors, the way they differentiated between them in the modern times and them in the flashbacks was he switched aspect ratios. He went from a widescreen on fill up your TV widescreen down to
They went to the Vietnam scenes and it shrunk down to like a letterbox.
Yeah, a time period. Yeah, it was the same size as the film stock in the time period in which it was, and I thought that was a pretty great choice.
Yeah, that was cool.
I didn't have a problem with them not de-aging. I'm glad we're entertaining MJ so much that she's decided just to read.
MJ, why didn't you watch it? Spike Lee movie comes out on Netflix over the weekend. Why didn't you watch it?
I canceled my Netflix subscription, Sticky. I am poor. I am down to Pluto and YouTube.
Fair enough. Oh, so you have Pluto. You want to talk about old Rock of Love episodes?
Man, there's so much on there. Absolutely. And I just got this book in. Can you see what it is?
Dirty Blonde. What is that? What is that?
It is the Diaries of Courtney Love.
Oh
my goodness!
It will be helping me through nerd stuff. I can't believe I had to bust it out early, but that's what she's in here for.
All right, look, I didn't want to exclude you, and I think Sean and I both, which is interesting because I thought we were going to have different takes on it, but we both pretty much agreed. A very good movie, just below Spike Lee's. I thought Black Klansman was a much better movie. So
yeah, no, I don't disagree with that, but I think if he were to decide to go back and re-edit this a little bit, I think he's got a great movie in there.
Yeah.
He just got a little bloated and wanted to get all his ideas on screen. I mean, it's everything. It's a war movie. It's a heist movie. It's a, father-son movie. It's just a little bit of everything and a whole lot of not quite enough of any one thing.
So we were talking about the name of the movie, The Five Bloods, and we thought, there's a amazing, huge number of movies that have an actual number in the title of the movie. So we thought that we would rank our big 5 favorite movies with numbers in the name.
And Sticky, I'll tell you right now, Malcolm X is Malcolm X. It's not Malcolm 10.
Okay, it's not Malcolm 10. Thank you for clearing that up. Let me scratch that off my list then. Who wants to go first? Who's got a list of movies with numbers in the titles?
Do you mean for the MJ and the Boys Big 5?
Thank you, Neil.
All right.
No problem, man.
All right. Big shout out to 12 Monkeys, 300, and 101 Dalmatians. My top 5. 40-Year-Old Virgin, 13 Ghosts, The Sixth Sense, House of a Thousand Corpses, because I'm a sucker for a Rob Zombie movie, unless it's like his last few movies. Awful. And 9 to 5, Dolly Parton. Come on.
I was wondering
5,
whether or not you were going to
#1.
get it. Yeah.
Yes, of course, 9 to 5 is going on there. She wrote that on her fingernails.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. The percussion sound at the beginning of that song is Dolly Parton's fake plastic fingernails
Yeah.
clicking against each other. Okay,
right.
I'll go next. My honorable mention include 50 First Dates, 9 to 5, 12 Monkeys, 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing,
I
Montana,
haven't seen
or
that
whatever
yet.
that one. Man, that is a
I've
it
heard
is
nothing but
Missouri.
good
That's what I
things.
say, Montana, Missouri. That is a great movie. It's very heavy though. Year One, which is a Michael Cera, Jack Black, a really stupid movie, but it was directed by Egon, and it feels like a Mel Brooks movie, so I like that. Hateful Eight, Ocean's 11, and Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. Here's my big 5. Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers.
Oh.
A lot of people think that is the second Lord of the Rings movie, and that's sort of the throwaway one, but it's actually my favorite of the 3. Number 4, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Number 3, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, which I agree with MJ. I think it's hilarious. Number 2, The Three Amigos. Got my numbers in my Three Amigos. And number 1, that's The Three Amigos too.
I thought it was a seizure. We're just going on with it.
Number 1,
It
greatest.
kind of reminded me of Twitch's Tourette's, if I'm going to be real. Go on.
Don't make me.
Do it again.
No.
Do Twitch again. Do your impression of Twitch
I'm
again.
not gonna do Twitch.
Okay.
I'm not gonna do an impression of a guy with Tourette's. It's not on YouTube. I'm not gonna do it.
Right.
He's a great guy, by the way. Avengers: Infinity War.
Oh.
Infinity's a number, right?
Oh, you crafty bastard.
Nice.
It's number-ish.
You crafty bastard. All right, let it slide. Who wants to go next? Sean, Neil?
You got one or you want me to go?
My honorable mention is 47 Ronin. Keanu Reeves is a samurai.
Oh, right.
My top 5 are Oceans 11 and 13, because 12 sucked.
Which was the one with the girls?
That was
Ocean's 8.
Oh,
Ocean's 8.
It was okay.
Number 4, 9 to 5 for MJ.
Yes.
Number 3, 7 with Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
What's in the box?
Number 2, 310 to Yuma, Great Western.
Mm-hmm. Which one?
And
original or the Russell Crowe?
I like the remake.
Yeah,
I like the Russell Crowe one. He's a cool cowboy.
Pause.
And
Sean, why didn't you ask me that on 13 Ghosts?
Because I didn't take any credence in your list. I was busy reading a book.
I was talking about the original. Go on, Neil.
Not awkward. My number 1 is The One, Jet Li, karate movie. But I was gonna go with like the 7 Shaolin things, but I couldn't figure out the title. There's too many Shaolin numbers, so I couldn't. Couldn't do it.
All right.
All right,
Honorable mentions. Yeesh.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Sean's going.
Okay. Honorable mentions: 2012, Apollo 13, 3 Amigos, 8 Men Out, 7, and 12 Monkeys.
Nice.
All right. My list: 7 Samurai. I was gonna go with Magnificent 7, but I like the 7 Samurai better. Just a little bit of a better movie. 12 Angry Men, Fifth Element, The Man with Two Brains,
Oh, that's a good one.
and
Like
One
a
Flew
gorilla?
Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Classic. The
One of the
classic downer.
Time, yeah.
Yep.
Yes, definitely a classic downer.
Yep.
Much like a lot of 70s cinema.
Well, I think MJ, you're not going to make the master list, or are you?
9 to
No,
5's gotta
I'm
make
not.
it.
9 to 5's on it. 40-year-old
9
virgins on it.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
Three
Nest.
Amigos.
Three
I
Amigos.
believe, was on a few.
Yeah.
So 1, 2.
And there you go. So your MJ and the Boys Big Four.
No,
12
I
what?
mean,
12 Monkeys or 12 Angry Men?
no, you really don't like 13 Ghosts, Sean. You like old horror movies, and you were not impressed at all with 13 Ghosts.
I like the 12 Angry Men.
I like 13 Ghosts. I didn't know there was a remake.
There was a remake, and it's not nearly as good. They might have called it something different, like 12 Ghosts, but it's the exact same goddamn thing. Sorry. So can 13 Ghosts go on there then?
Sure. Put it
Number
up.
five.
Put
All
it
right,
at number
there
5.
it is.
Put
There's
it at
your
number 5.
5.
Okay,
All
there you go. All right, there's your big 5 movies with numbers in the titles. And now it's time for the Weird World This Week.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's the Weird World This Week. Bitches.
A online petition has popped up on change.org, which is suggesting that Richmond, Virginia, remove the statue of Robert E. Lee, Confederate general, and replace it with a statue of GWAR lead singer Oderus Ungerus. And it has currently, as of we're recording this on Monday evening, 46,891 signatures.
There's also one out there to replace the statue we just replaced here in Frankfurt, right? We took down the Jefferson statue. People want to replace it with Dolly Parton. I can get behind that. I say every statue that represents hate goes up with a Dolly Parton statue in its place.
Okay.
But every statue gets bigger and bigger breasts. And what that will do is it will encourage other cities, right? They'll be like, well, shit, man, her boobs will be huge if we rip down this statue. And they'll like come together and they'll be like, let's take it down. Like, we'll do it for free right now. We can get the biggest titty Dolly Parton monument we can. Right?
That makes sense.
I wouldn't argue with that. I
mean,
I like a big titty statue as much as the next guy.
Yeah. Now, I do love GWAR, and he passed away, 2-3 years ago? How long ago? It wasn't too long ago.
Let me read you the petition on change.org. It's pretty short.
Okay.
It says Robert E. Lee is a failed war general that supported a racist cause. For too long, the city of Richmond has been displaying statues of him and other loser Civil War veterans. We, the scum dogs of the universe, call on the city of Richmond to erect a statue of the great local leader Oderus Ungerus in its place. While Oderus comes from the planet Scumdogia, he called Richmond his home, working with local art community and employing local artists and ladies of the night. If you sign, donate to the Richmond COVID-19 Arts and Cultural Relief Fund below at this URL. And then there's a link. So basically you sign the petition and they're raising money for COVID-19 relief. Aww. So if you don't know what GWAR looks like, they're a heavy metal band that wears like disgusting, like, Sean, help me out here.
Big ass cod pieces. Big massive cod pieces.
Yeah. Like raw meat, kind of like spikes and just disgustingness.
I highly recommend, if you know GWAR or you don't know GWAR, if you've not seen their oh god damn it, the acoustic. I'm drawing a blank. They did Kansas, Carry On My Wayward Son.
Oh yeah. And
it is GWAR the style. Best. Yes, the best cover. Like, get a fucking job and get off the couch. You know, like kind of remake. Oh, it's AV Club. AV Club. Look up AV Club. They did it for AV Club, and it's fantastic. And I will sign that petition. Because, I mean, why not?
Would you guys like to know?
Before we go on, I think legitimately the statue of Jefferson Davis that came down in Kentucky, I can't think there's a better statue to put up, both to honor him and to say fuck you to the people pissed off about the Jeff Davis statue coming down. Throw a statue of Muhammad Ali up in the Kentucky Capitol Rotunda.
Woo! That would be awesome. That would be fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because he's a famous,
Kentucky
maybe
boy,
the most famous Kentuckian.
Or
Yeah.
Hunter S. Thompson.
And there's more than 1,200 Confederate statues in the United States.
I think
Still,
we're the
yeah.
only country, right, that builds statues to losers. Like, we're just gonna break it down to black and white.
I
You
saw
know?
the best thing I saw on the internet was the Confederate flag is incorrect. It needs to be a white flag.
Yeah.
It's always been at NASCAR races. They wave it on the final lap.
And by the way, good for NASCAR for doing that. But
Yeah.
you know, the thing that really drives me nuts is the argument that you're destroying history, you're tearing down history. That is so fucking stupid and untrue.
It is, but this is the thing, is I know, I'm going to play devil's advocate. Only because I grew up in a tiny town where the Confederate flag, we never really learned the history of it, right? It just stood for the South, right? And like whatever. So I've never owned anything with a Confederate flag on it. Let me start there. I've never enjoyed the flag, right? But I also didn't give a fuck about it. I didn't pay that much attention. In my mind, I associate it with rednecks, okay? With just as a blanket term. And you know, I can see how they've been raised completely different. Like when it comes to that, it's Southern pride, like all this dumb narrative, right? It's a dumb, ignorant narrative, but it's what they were raised with. They've not heard another narrative, so that's why I don't get mad at them. Like you just try to talk to them and say, I know that you were raised with a narrative of Southern pride, and like in your head, it's beers and NASCAR and, you know, blah, blah. But the fact is this is what it really stands for. And then when you want to go deeper, that's when you kind of hit them with you understand that you're supporting a losing flag, right? And like, then they get really mad, but it takes a minute to absorb it all. Like, you know, I understand how these people immediately cling to what they were raised with. It's all they've ever known.
But that's no excuse, though. I mean, first of all, I was actually referring to them taking down Confederate statues, and people are saying that it's history. But the rebel flag is that. I mean, I get what you're saying. If someone teaches you something and you don't learn the difference, how are you going to know? But in this day and age, you got to know the difference now. You've got to be able to educate yourself.
Yes, well, and be willing to educate, be willing to listen. It's what I'm angry at are the people who don't want to listen. They scream fake shit over what you're saying because they don't want to learn. If you don't want to learn, you're not going to learn, right? There are plenty of people out there who have Confederate flag stuff who are stepping back now going, oh shit, you know, this represents something completely different than my privileged ass ever thought about. Like, fuck,
well,
you know,
good.
and
if those people are finally realizing
and
that,
that's why I don't want to just immediately call anybody with a rebel flag stupid, because I don't think that helps. I think the whole thing is making sure they understand what it really represents, how it makes other people feel, and if they want to listen and change, good on them. They are not stupid. If they want to cling to it and keep screaming the same nonsensical bullshit we've been screaming since Dukes of Hazzard, fuck them. So there's a line, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, and I think that you agree, though, is it shouldn't be flying. The flag shouldn't be unfurled.
Absolutely not. No.
At NASCAR races.
Absolutely not. No way. You know? No, I'm not standing for the flag at all. I'm wanting to make sure I don't want to teach. I'm not trying to teach hate with hate. You're fucking stupid because your parents were fucking stupid. No, I'm sorry you were raised right this way, but let's talk about it and see if you can understand. You know, I guess that's kind of the approach I'm taking. So
the way I look at it is, from a historical standpoint, the Confederacy lasted 5 years.
That's it.
There's people's grunge phase lasted longer than 5 years.
Mine's still going on. My grunge phase has lasted longer than their Confederacy, for fuck's sake. Yes.
And if, you know, heritage is like food. It's dance. It's not a piece of cloth you hang, you know, on top of a pole.
Right.
That's just a symbol for a country, or, you know, MIA in Vietnam, or whatever state you happen to reside in. But like the Confederacy thing, man, the message that comes with it is not the message that you want to come with it. There's a message that comes with it that goes way back, and it's not going away from you saying whatever you're saying. So, you know, you got to realize that, you know, you can wait if you want to, but we also get to call you names. You get what you know, if you want to put out, you know, that you feel like you're superior to other people, we get to explain to you how you're not.
Right, exactly. That's fine. And listen or don't, you know, keep fighting that fight. It's fine. Keep fighting it if you want to fight that fight. Stupid. or realize why you shouldn't, why you should focus your energy somewhere else.
I was wearing my U.S. Cavalry hat at Keeneland one day, and somebody yelled out, "The South will rise again." And I said, "Not on my watch, dipshit."
Did somebody really yell that?
Yeah.
Fucking ignorant motherfuckers.
If anybody sees my United States Cavalry hat, is not a Southern. The cross rifles are cavalry. That's all that is. It's not something from the South. The black hat would be closer to the North because I believe the South wore gray. So, yeah. So.
He does wear that often. He wears the boots. He wears the boots and the hat often just to mind fuck you people. So if you see him rolling around, no, it's
a challenge to history. So if you come at me with some dumb shit, I'm like, man, you don't even know history.
Yeah, ignorance.
You could have watched F Troop, dude. Come on,
dude. Nobody watched
Rip
F Troop. Ignorance is as big a problem as hatred. I mean, but they're both wrong. If you're ignorant, you need to educate yourself, and if you're hatred, well, you just need to fuck yourself. But I want to move on, if you guys don't mind, to something a little bit later.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, that bummed me out.
I know that you all dream about having sex with celebrities, especially you, MJ, and I thought that I would give you a public service announcement and warn you about some celebrities that maybe you should try to avoid having sex with because allegedly or reportedly they have STDs.
STDs?
I was going to say sexually transmitted diseases, but I thought I'd shorten it. Do you want to hear the list of celebrities with STDs?
Yes.
Okay. This is, by the way, from a website. I guess it's from a radio station website. 103.7 The Loon. I don't know what this radio station is. So if you have a problem with this, you can take it up with them. Okay, number 1. Paris Hilton. Herpes.
Shocking.
Apparently, a bottle of Valtrex was found in her locker in a storage facility that she didn't pay rent for. You know how they go through the storage facilities that when the rent is past due? And someone found a bottle of Valtrex, which is a medical medication for treating genital herpes, and that had her name on it. So she's taken Valtrex. She's got herpes.
That's
Charlie
hot.
Sheen. Charlie Sheen, we know.
Surprise. Yeah. Your first two are no surprise to like who?
Charlie Sheen has HIV, as you know.
Tiger blood.
And Liberace's gay.
Michael Vick has herpes. He was sued by a woman for giving her herpes.
That's Ron Mexico.
Ron Mexico. Robin Williams.
No, there's a story of him going to a clinic in Atlanta, and that was the name he used.
Oh, that was right. That was the fake name he used. Apparently, Robin Williams, before he died, his ex-wife sued him for giving her herpes. Or his ex-lover, I don't know. Janet Jackson was sued by her chef for buying herpes medication under his name.
What?
Yeah.
You shut your face.
I
do not believe that. Not for a second.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that they found her guilty, but I'm saying at least the chef accused her of it. Jessica Alba, who is a big wellness, has made a fortune doing like a wellness website. It's rumored that she contracted herpes from her former lover, Derek
Charlie
Jeter.
Sheen. Oh.
And then next on the list, Derek Jeter. Anybody that had sex with Derek Jeter has herpes.
So Charlie Sheen had sex with Derek Jeter?
Get ready to put your stunned faces on. Lindsay Lohan.
What?
No, there's no corroborating evidence on this. It just says Lindsay Lohan.
Lindsay Lohan, just because people are like, it's Lindsay. There's no way. Although, let it be known, there is a way. There is a way for a whore to slide through, clean.
So
it's amazing. It's a rarity. I'm not throwing out any names, but it's amazing. It's how sometimes the whores will just catch that lucky pass. So the fact that there's no corroborating, I'm kind of thinking, Lindsay might be one of them lucky whores.
Might be one of the lucky ones.
So,
Pamela
my favorite,
Anderson.
real quick. Have you guys seen the Lindsay Lohan where she's passed out asleep in a car and somebody put like this famous painting of a saint with the same pose. We'll have to share it. It's probably 5, if not 10 years old, and it still makes me laugh anytime it pops up on my feed.
Pamela Anderson had hepatitis C, and she got it from the next entry on our list, Tommy Lee.
Yeah.
And his giant wang.
Who got it from Charlie Sheen.
Steven Tyler also had hepatitis C.
Again, Charlie Sheen.
I remember like 5 years ago, like Pamela Anderson put out a Facebook post or Twitter or something, and she said, I had a hepatitis C, but they cured it. And everyone was like, shut the fuck up, Pamela Anderson. But it was true. She just got the medication. They cured it. And she just got the medication before everybody else. She's Hep C free. Yep. I prefer Hep C clear.
I will never not make that joke.
Britney Spears went through a wild phase and contracted herpes sometime after Justin Timberlake and her stopped dating. Since then, she's had many sexual partners, it says.
Leave Britney alone!
And there it is.
This the shade. So this would be after the shade of the head thing, right? Or before?
Yes. Yeah, I guess after the breakdown. I don't know. I actually feel bad that I read that list because it seemed just like a gossipy radio station bullshit list, but I thought it was funny, and I thought you guys would like it.
A lot of people have no syph, no gonorrhea.
It was very National Enquiry, I would say.
Doesn't like 9 out of 10 adults have herpes or something? Isn't there some stat about that?
Yeah, like lip herpes, almost everybody. Again, can you believe? No shit. Guess who does it? What? I'm just as shocked. But yeah, apparently it's very common. I promise you, it's like, it amazes me because pretty much everybody I've ever known has, like, oh my God, thank you. You're the best. Getting a drink. Don't worry. Luckily,
the look of love on MJ's face when someone brings her alcohol or someone's going to bring her alcohol. Yeah. Man, that just...
Yes. Wait, real quick, let's do, if you have lip herpes, do you? How many? No one wants to admit it, huh?
You could see it on my lips. They're huge, so bam! Bam!
That's racist, Neil.
Oh my God. Fuck, Neil. You have all goddamn people.
Does that mean I don't get a Confederate statue?
No, you don't.
Sorry.
Okay. No, I get the statue, but they tear it down immediately.
Yeah, we'll tear it down later.
Yeah.
Throw it in the river.
Be a tall statue, a tall drink of water. All right, what's next?
Well, I was going to tell you about a customer.
I'm pretty sure all of them have herpes, like lip herpes. Just throwing that out there.
I'm not saying anything. A customer is attempting to sue Apple for $1 trillion over claims the company stole his iPhone after he brought it in for repair in 2018. Ravion Terrell Parker claims that Apple kept his phone because it had new features on it that were used to aid the development of iOS 12. Parker's last attempt to sue Apple was dismissed. Basically, this guy from Missouri just sues Apple all the time. But I thought it was interesting because the amount he's trying to sue them for is $1 trillion with a T, $1 trillion. And he says that he brought his phone in for repair and it had a bunch of features on it that never existed on Apple phones somehow. And then they never gave his phone back. And then Apple released the iOS 12 and everyone had the features that he had. So he's saying that Apple stole his technology and he's suing them for $1 trillion.
Well, we'll see how this plays out.
I mean, if the best case scenario for him, right, is that they figured it'd be easier for them to give him like 10 grand than to just to go to court. Is that what he's trying to do?
Probably. Like they don't, when you got that much money, you're like, it's like giving somebody $10 to fuck off.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll have to see. Keep an eye on that. If it works, we'll start a joint lawsuit against Apple and all the technology they stole from me.
I wanted to go back. I forgot to mention when we were doing our big 5 movies with numbers in the title. Have you guys seen movie 43?
No.
It's on Netflix. I feel like I started to watch it.
I meant to bring this up and I forgot, but movie 43, and it's got so many huge stars in it. Hugh Jackman, all kinds of famous people. It is literally the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life, by far.
Really?
Yeah, just so you know. And that can be the start of nerd stuff.
Oh.
Sorry, MJ.
Are we ready for nerd stuff?
Nerd us up, Neil.
Well, everybody's nerdy about something. Or if you're not, you might be MJ. Nerd stuff!
Sean, are you all right, man?
Yeah, why?
You look sad and sleepy, and I feel like I want to come give you a hug. Do you need a hug?
I have my computer just out of camera sight. I'm looking at the screen.
Okay.
So my head is turned down.
Okay.
You do have kind of a sad, wandering look about you, though.
Hey,
like the tramp that used to dress up as.
The hobo.
Yes, the hobo.
Not a tramp. I was a hobo.
If anybody's gonna be the depressed one, it's gotta be sticky.
That's my thing, dude.
Yeah, don't
be depressed.
Work your side of the street there.
Stay in my lane.
So here's my nerd news. I have one nerd news. MJ, you'll be happy to know I only have one nerd news. Well, it's 1.5. Spider-Verse 2, Into the Spider-Verse 2, the by the way, the best animated superhero movie of all time, probably one of the top 5 just superhero movies of any genre, of any kind of all time, was Into the Spider-Verse. Production has officially begun on Into the Spider-Verse Part 2, which featured Miles Morales as the half-black, half-Hispanic Spider-Man. And just the other day, PlayStation announced that they are releasing PlayStation 5 this year, even though there's not a goddamn thing wrong with my PlayStation 4. But thank you. Take my $700. And one of the first games that is going to be released is a Miles Morales Spider-Man PS5 game. Miles Morales, the Black Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's awesome.
You don't have to get a PS5.
I have to. I have to play that game. That Spider-Man game was about the most fun game I've ever played. I finished it 100% completion 4 times. I did it on every difficulty level. It was so great. And I can't wait for the next one to come out. And when they put it out and it's going to be a PS5 exclusive, I've got to get it. Got to. So I'm going to. But I thought it got me thinking, Miles Morales he's a pretty awesome.
You've got a baby coming that's going to require about $700 more than what you're used to.
It's going to cut the diaper budget.
Yeah.
I'm not going to. I feel like I shouldn't tell this story, but one time when I had my when my daughter was a baby and I had her swaddled on our ottoman, and I was playing Mario Kart, and she rolled right off the ottoman. Yeah, that was bad. So
Marcus, my son rolled off the couch on his head. That was no big deal. He cried a little bit. He's all right. He's all right.
Live and learn.
Babies bounce surprisingly well.
Yeah, they're very bendy.
Yeah. Oh, also in nerd news, the 007 Daniel Craig new 007 movie, which was originally supposed to be already out, I think has been going to be released on November 25th. Now they're going to release it on November 20th.
What is that? No Time to Die? Is that what
I guess.
It looks good.
And it's his last one. So whoever they make 007 after him better not suck, is all I'm saying.
I saw
they better not Timothy Dalton it up, is all
they
I'm
were
saying.
Trying to get there was one of those petitions that they were trying to get the guy who played Vincini from The Princess Bride. What's his name?
Wallace Shawn?
Yeah, Wallace Shawn. They were trying to get him to be the new 007. And I was like, take my money. If you do that, I'll be the first person in line to see that. Because that's a real secret agent. No one would see him coming.
Oh, before you shoot anybody, it'd say, hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. Did you kill my father? Prepare to die.
That was Manny Patinkin or whatever. Manny Patinko. What's his name?
Mandy Patinkin.
Mandy Patinkin. So, Miles Morales got me thinking about black superheroes. So I thought we would do a bonus Big 5 list. Big 5 favorite black superheroes.
Oh, son of a bitch.
You got one, MJ? You know any superheroes? You can just name 5 superheroes, white or black or any color, and we'll give you credit.
Superheroes: Superman, Batman, Spider-Man,
Right.
Poison Ivy.
Just So
Black
now just
Panther.
Black Panther. We got one.
Yeah.
No, just say Black Superman, and then and then you're
There you go. Yay!
Black Poison Ivy.
Black Poison Ivy, Black Spider-Man.
Yeah, my list on that is Cloak from Cloak and Dagger.
Nice.
Luke Cage.
Okay.
Green Lantern, surprisingly.
The John Stewart
was
Green
black.
Lantern.
Yeah, the Black Green Lantern was Green Lantern. They didn't name him Black Lantern. That would have been extremely offensive if they had. Like, hey man, how come the dude with the tuft for a face is a Green Lantern, but I got to be the Black Lantern, man? What's up with that? That's just wrong, man.
That's the way DC Comics was, man. Remember the Super Friends and the Black Vulcan?
Oh, Black Falcon.
Vulcan, Vulcan.
It was Falcon, Falcon, Falc.
No, what? That was Black Vulcan. I don't even know what he.
Falcon.
Okay.
It was a falconer.
But why was he the black one? That's the question.
To separate himself from White Falcon.
Who's number one? Who's the top 2 on your list?
My top 2 black superheroes.
Yeah, or is that your whole list?
That was basically my whole list. I didn't want to.
Sean, do you got any?
The other guys just seem so lame.
I'll give you some good ones.
Yeah, Blade.
Blade.
Black Vampire.
No, Blade. Black Vampire's Blackula, dude.
Yeah, that's
right. Nick Fury and Nick Luke Cage. Nick Cage. I almost said Nick Cage. That's a whole different thing. I think wasn't Spawn black?
I think he is. Yeah.
He was in the movie anyway.
Yeah. And then you get into the Black Lightning, Black Panther, Black Adam,
Black Adam wasn't. Black Adam is not black. He's like
he is now.
He's gonna be.
He's like Greek.
He's black now.
The Rock's gonna make him black.
Is The Rock black?
Yes, he's half black, half Samoan.
Oh,
And
I didn't know that.
Cyborg's my main guy.
Cyborg, yeah, he's great.
I like Cyborg.
All right, I'll give you a whole bunch of good ones.
The new Iron Man is she not black?
Yeah, Riri Williams. She's black.
Williams.
Yep.
Iron Girl.
Here would be my honorable mentions. Moon Girl. Here be Moon Girl.
My honorable mention.
Which I said here will be Moon Girl, which is she's a genius who's got a pet dinosaur. Brother Voodoo, who's like Doctor Strange but a black dude.
Papa Shango.
Brother Voodoo. Huh?
Brother Voodoo.
Cousin of Papa Shango.
No. Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man. Cloak is on my list, Neil. And Frozone from The Incredibles.
Frozone.
Here's my top 5. War Machine. And when I started collecting comic books, Jim Rhodes, who's the War Machine guy inside of War Machine, he was Iron Man. Like the first 2 years of me collecting comic books, I was like, who is this Tony Stark person? I had no idea who he was. When it just happened to be the year that I started collecting, Jim Rhodes was Iron Man. Luke Cage, number 4. Black Panther, number 3. Monica Rambeau. Again, when I started collecting comic books, Captain Marvel was a black woman. She was one of my favorite characters. She could change herself into any form of energy. So she could change herself into living light and fly at the speed of light. She was a badass, and she was a leader of the Avengers for a while. And she was Captain Marvel. And now Captain Marvel is Captain Marvel, and they call her Photon or Pulsar or some shit like that. I don't know why they changed it. But you will see her in upcoming WandaVision as an adult. In the Captain Marvel movie, she was the little girl, Monica Rambeau, the character. But she'll have... So that movie was set in the 90s. So when you get to modern times, she'll be a full-grown adult, and she'll probably have superpowers. So that'd be really cool. And number 1 for me, not only my favorite black superhero, but one of my favorite all-time superheroes, Storm from the X-Men. And again,
yes.
Back when
How
I
do you feel
started
about Beyonce playing her?
No, hell no.
I would agree.
God
She
damn
can't
no.
act. She's worse than Rebecca Romaine Stamos was as
Mystique.
Yeah, Mystique. That was the worst casting ever.
when I started collecting comics, Storm wasn't. Her costume was like biker. She wore like all leather with a shaved head and a big white afro, big white mohawk. Yeah, I mean, she was a bad ass. And even when she's not wearing that costume, she's a badass. She's a badass always. But I picture her more like as an older character. I guess Beyonce's getting older now, but I always thought like Angela Bassett would be great. Storm. I don't know. We actually cast the X-Men a while back, and we had younger actors playing her. But anyway, I just love Storm. So there. Big 5 black superheroes.
I'm curious about this Brother Voodoo because that sounds double racist. And I can't put my finger on why exactly, but
well, I don't know if it's racist. I know that he's a prominent character in the Doctor Strange universe, and he's a pretty cool character. He was the Sorcerer Supreme for a while, and there's an internet movement. If you watched the Luke Cage season 2, the actor who played the bad guy in that, spoiler alert, he dies in the Luke Cage. I think he died, but
no,
he didn't die at the end. They want to bring him. There's like an internet movement to bring him back because he was taking this like Bushmaster. They want to make him, that actor, become Brother Voodoo, like in the next Doctor Strange movie, and he wants that. He wants to play Brother Voodoo. I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head.
Well, the character's name was Bushmaster, and after Luke defeated him or something, he started getting weak, and he had to go back to Jamaica or something where he came from to try to treat himself or something. So that's, I mean, the plot hole is right there for him to make that change.
That's right. That's exactly right, Neil. You're exactly right. And the actor's name is Mustafa Shakir. And so the internet theory or whatever that's going around is that he goes back and then he turns himself into Brother Voodoo, and he's perfect to play that role. So, sometimes the internet screams loud enough. If they've got a good idea, people get what they want. So we'll see what happens with that. That'd be pretty cool. Anybody got anything else?
Bueller?
Talking about my big news.
Here's a picture of him.
That's Andre 3000, dude.
No, it's not. Shut up.
Wearing Andre 3000.
Who was that? I thought it was Black Billy Jack.
Is that the Bushmaster?
Black Billy Jack?
It's from his Instagram page. It's Mustafa Shakir.
I mean, I'd do it.
I'm not sure if that's the same guy that played Bushmaster in the Luke Cage show.
It is, dude. Here's another picture of him.
Okay, yeah, no.
Okie dokie. Ribbit?
What's your big news, Sean? You said you had big news?
No, I gave mine up at the beginning where I watched the movie.
You watched the movie? All right. Well, that was great. So listen, if you're watching this and you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. We need to get 100 subscribers so that we can change the name of our YouTube channel. So just hit the subscribe button down there, okay? Subscribe, and if after we get 100 people subscribe, we'll change the name, and then you can unsubscribe, and that'll be fine.
Yes, that's all we're asking. Just help us out. I mean, hell, I sat through nerd stuff. I literally wrote "fuck my life" on my wrist. I read part of Courtney Love's book. I even practiced shotgunning on my cigarette. That all happened.
First of all, it's all really interesting stuff, and second of all, just maybe just I don't know, put forth a little effort. Join in.
I have nothing on this subject. Nothing.
You can do it.
The backgrounds at the end of the show are become a classic for me because Sean, besides seeing the dark green hint of your eyes, man.
Yeah.
Your dog just coming up in front of the camera, big smile. Like, hey. That's good stuff, man.
All right. Well, that was it. That's all I got. If anybody got anything else, Neil, you can wrap it up.
Hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, MJ and the Boys. Pretty easy. And do that thing Sticky was talking about where you like us and then don't once we get to 100, change our name. We don't care.
Subscribe.
Hope you keep washing your hands and buying that toilet paper. We'll see you next week. This has been MJ and the boys, you lucky bastards.